this press conference is being held to clarify certain issues that hinge on the Warri Kingdom, specifically the Ologbotsere saga that has been everywhere. And it behooves from the Ginuwa ruling house to explain to the public and the world at large what exactly is the position of the Ologbotsere title, the Ginuwa ruling house, the power in the Ginuwa ruling house to exercise certain rights. Because in the past there has been some misunderstanding here and there, conflict of objectives, but we like to make this straight. That's the purpose of this particular conference. We have the people, members of the Ginuwa first ruling house. We have Prince Emmanuel Okotiebo, the chairman of the Ginuwa first ruling house, and he is equally the immediate past regent of the Warri Kingdom. We have Prince Torisheju Emiko, is a lawyer by profession. We have Prince Isaac Dos, is a prince of the Warri Kingdom. We have Prince Collins Edema, is also a very active member of the Ginuwa first ruling house. And with me speaking, I am Prince Hosanna Jalogo Williams. I am the coordinator of the Ginuwa first ruling house. At this juncture, I have to refer the rest of the press interview as it concerns this minute to Barrister Torisheju Emiko to elucidate one of all the reasons why we are here.
The attention of Ginuwa, the first ruling house, has been drawn to a couple of social media interviews, video clips that has gone viral. The substance of these video clips have to do with issues surrounding the Ologbotsere title in Warri Kingdom. Comments and personal opinions have been offered by some individuals, including chiefs, princes and princesses in the kingdom. We refer particularly to the interviews granted by Chief Brand Mene and Prince Yemi Emiko to Mr. Mamode Akua, the anchor of Inside the Niger Delta TV program. While Ginuwa, the first ruling house, acknowledges that some of these issues are already sub judice, such that we cannot now comment on them without running foul of the law, we think it is necessary to put certain facts straight in the interest of the reading public. It is against this backdrop of the foregoing that Ginuwa, the first ruling house, wishes to state as follows. 1. That the statement credited to Chief Brand Mene to the effect that princes in Warri Kingdom have no locus on chieftaincy matters does not accurately reflect the situation. In some circumstances, princes and princesses of the Warri Kingdom are consulted on chieftaincy matters. Why would princes not have a say in palace affairs when it is from amongst them that an Olu is chosen? Besides, Ginuwa, the first ruling house, is made up of mainly princes and princesses. 2. That Prince Yemi Emiko's interpretation of Chief Brown Mene's statement in the said interview is entirely his personal opinion. 3. That Ginuwa, the first ruling house, wishes to place on record that as one of the princes of the royal family in Warri Kingdom, and an erudite one for that matter, Yemi Emiko is entitled to his personal opinion on any matter relating to Warri Kingdom, just like other princesses, and other well-meaning Oma Iwere of the kingdom. 4. That in the same vein, Prince Yemi Emiko's meetings in Sapele or elsewhere, and his reconciliation meetings with his siblings are all in furtherance of his rights to freedom of association guaranteed by the supreme law of the land, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended. 5. That the ruling house equally concedes to Prince Yemi Emiko that his stout and robust defense of errant Mr. Ayiri Emami, erstwhile Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom, is within the exercise of his rights to freedom of thought and conscience, also guaranteed by the said supreme law of the land. Prince Yemi Emiko, however, does not speak for the royal family. 6. That paragraph 1 of the declaration made under section 8 of the Traditional Rulers and Chiefs Edict 1979, stating the customary law regulating succession to the title of Olu of Warri, states unequivocally that there is only one ruling house in Warri Kingdom known as Ginuwa the First. Thereafter, the ruling house is required by the said law to carry out the selection process with the cooperation of the Olu Advisory Council, of which the Ologbotsere is head, and in his absence, the most senior chief. 7. That, pursuant to paragraph 6 of this statement, the ruling house dutifully and religiously carried out the selection process, meticulously following the law, without prompting from any quarters whatsoever. 8. That Prince Yemi Emiko, being a member of the royal family, Ginuwa the First ruling house takes exception to his use of phrases like "this guy who is there now" in inverted commas, and "junketing all over the place" also in inverted commas, referring to the revered Olu of Warri and his activities. The ruling house insists on proper and respectful reference to the person and throne of His Majesty Ogiame Atuwache III, CFR, the Olu of Warri, and his activities. 9. That henceforth the ruling house will no longer tolerate sarcastic comments, proverbs, or innuendos from any quarters whatsoever, denigrating the personality and throne of His Majesty the Olu of Warri. Now, addressing specific issues raised by Prince Yemi Emiko during the interview about the Olu of Warri's throne. 1. That Mr. Ayiri Emami, bracket opens, asked chairman of the Olu Advisory Council, bracket closes, was protecting the law. Which law was Ayiri Emami protecting? A stark illiterate. Does he even understand the law? As far as the ruling house is concerned, Ayiri Emami is just playing pranks, trying to take the Shekiri nation on a merry-go-round, buying time to enable him and his cohorts put their acts together and install a puppet as Olu. 2. Suspension of Ayiri as Ologbotsere was done in error. This statement is credited to Prince Yemi Emiko. Now the ruling house feels disturbed that Prince Yemi Emiko could, on a matter as serious as this, approbates and reprobates. Granted that he drafted the suspension document, which was reviewed holistically by the ruling house. Was he drunk when he was doing the draft? Or was he not in control of his mind, as is being suggested in certain quarters now, because of his present attitude of trying to destroy the same house he contributed in building? His recent pronouncements and actions do not speak well of him as a prince. Speaking from both sides of his mouth simultaneously at almost 70 years of age is not something to be proud of. And was the suspension of Ayiri Mami done in error, as wrongly claimed by Prince Yemi Emiko? The ruling house's response to him is an emphatic no. It was never done in error. Following the passage of Olu Ikenwoli on the 21st day of December 2020, Ayiri Emami, erstwhile Ologbotsere of Warri Kingdom, going by the letters of the 1979 declaration, ought to have immediately contacted Ginuwa, the first ruling house, in writing through the Secretary of the Council of Chiefs that a vacancy now exists in the traditional stool of the Olu of Warri. But Mr. Ayiri Emami would not. A process that ordinarily would have taken just 1 month, Mr. Ayiri Emami prevaricated, approbated and reprobated, junketed all over the place, arrogated to himself a non-existent status of I am the king, wasting everybody's time. The Shekiri nation was at crossroads. Time became of the essence. The Shekiri nation waited for either the ruling house or the Council of Chiefs, which included the Olu Advisory Council, to act, but no action was forthcoming. It was in this situation of absolute helplessness that Ginuwa, the first ruling house, led by the Olorebi, after consultation with the Shekiri nobilities, decided to suspend Ayiri Emami, as he was perceived to be deliberately stalling the process. The reading public should understand that the 1979 declaration, paragraph 1 thereof, begins with, and I quote, "There's only one ruling house in Warri Kingdom, known as Ginuwa the First," unquote. Therefore, when Ayiri Emami, erstwhile Ologbotsere, played truancy for about 3 months after the passage of Olu Ikenwoli, Ginuwa the First ruling house, out of necessity, had to act to move the Shekiri nation forward. So, the action of the ruling house was proper, timely, and justified. 3. The ruling house believes that Prince Yemi Emiko is just being mischievous because of his inordinate quest for political appointments. He should, however, be reminded that the ruling house has a right to caution and or sanction any erring or errant member of the ruling house. Gentlemen of the press, I thank you.
Gentlemen of the press, one of you just asked a question. If the Ginuwa ruling house has the power to suspend a chief, frankly speaking, the Ginuwa ruling house is a well-organized entity, and it holds the ace, everything within the cosmogony of Ishekiri operation is at the peak, the apex, having Ginuwa ruling house as the instructor. The Ginuwa ruling house is a composition of princes, princesses, and well-meaning Ishekiri people. As it were, if you commit any sacrilegious offense, the Ginuwa ruling house has the celestial power to punish, regulate, and of course remove the person from committing further offenses as such. So if you ask me, sincerely speaking, the Ginuwa ruling house has the power to do so, and there is just one and only one Ginuwa ruling house.
The truth is, the Ginuwa ruling house is the administrative head of Warri Kingdom in the absence of the king. If you remember, during the period of the suspension of the SY Ologbotsere, there was no king in place. The 1979 edict places the power of administration of the kingdom in the Ginuwa, the first ruling house, which led to us nominating and appointing a regent to run all administrative affairs of the kingdom. And when it was seen that the asked Ologbotsere was running foul of the laws in the declaration, which normally should make him write a letter to the ruling house within 3 days, at most within 3 days. He flattered that he didn't do that for almost 3 months. And with all the noise and threats and everything, it was pertinent on the ruling house to act as the administrative head of the kingdom, because we already have a regent. If we don't have a king for, God forbid, another 3, 4, 5 years before, the regent would have been the head. So in the case that a chief of any category or caliber as head, it is in the position of the ruling house to ensure that there is law and order and sanity in the kingdom. And that was what the Ginuwa, the first ruling house, did. Thank you very much.
Add to the question you asked about how you coming to the palace as a chief. You recall that when His Majesty sat on the throne, he gave all his chiefs the opportunity to come and revalidate their title. And you will bear with us that up to that 16 they came into the palace and he really refused to come and revalidate his title. So he came in there merely as Mr. Ayiri, because you cannot be above your master. He has shown that by his behavior, he has shown that he could be above the Ogu. So as a house, we are behind the Ogu in all the decisions he has reached so far as Ginuwa, the first ruling house. We as members of Ginuwa the first ruling house, we are ashamed of the behavior of our brother, Prince Yemi Emiko, because that is part of the major reason why we are addressing this press conference. And therefore, we are trying to reach out to him. We'll be reaching out to him to explain why these actions is currently known for are going on. But he's not listening yet. But we think that with time he will listen. And as a house, the Ginuwa one, the first ruling house, if we watch him for some time, we will do whatever we can do to maintain the royal name that we are known for.
In the document of our press release, if you go to number 3, that's the last paragraph on that particular document, number 3 of it, it says the ruling house believes that Prince Yemi Emiko is just being mischievous because of his inordinate quest for political appointment. That is not where I'm going. Now, it says further, he should, however, be reminded that the ruling house has the right to caution and or sanction any erring or errant member of the ruling house. The decision or whatever decision, whatever way to repair his misdemeanor, we have not taken, but this is the general reaction that we normally come from the Ginuwa ruling house. We caution or we will sanction. Definitely, I assure you, we will do one of them.
People asked whether that in the press release we talked about Yemi having meetings with his siblings, that were there issues before now? I guess that was the question. Yeah. You say, yes, there were issues between Yemi and his siblings. That is, they're all children of Ginuwa II, the Ologbotsere, or a past Ologbotsere. Now, I won't want to delve into the issues that led to the problems between Yemi and his siblings. They are not matters for public consumption, but definitely, you know, what I can only say is that, well, Yemi Emiko's siblings or the other original children were not happy, you know, when they perceived that Yemi was with the larger family. Yemi supported significantly the larger royal family in projecting the present Ologbotsere. His siblings were not happy about that. That is basically the reason why they fell out with him. But along the line, Yemi now felt, look, I cannot be at loggerheads with my siblings all the time. And so he decided to go back to make up with them. And that is what he has just done. That's, the press has been carried. I'd like to stop it.
What I would just want to say, very simple, nothing happens without, no positive happens without the hands of God. Today, we thank God, we have a king that is recognized all over the world, you know, and the support too the king is having from the Shekiri nation. I'm sorry, we are very happy about it. Just a mini, greedy few that are causing problem everywhere. But what they should realize, not only Ebura, nobody can block the view of God. If you try to block the view of God, you have problem. Right now, we are past the Red Sea. We are not going back. Nobody for personal reasons want to drag us back for no genuine purpose or reasons for their actions. Most of these actions are being backed up by personal greed for what they want. But Shekiri is for who I will know. They know what they want, and we stand by our king. Our king is in charge. No other person. There's no small king, there's no big king. King is a king. And worldwide, the king we have today, Atuwache III, is well recognized, and we're happy to have him. So whoever feels that he wants to quarrel with the king, he wants to fight the king, he wants to insult the king, that's his business. But we have seen this thing. Shekiri, this is not the first time Shekiri that we have seen things like this. And we ought to have learned our lessons from different happenings from the 60s up till now. This is the land people like Rwanda passed through. We knew what happened. They respect elders. So we appreciate Shekiris. Please try, respect your elders, respect your king. We don't want people buying you with some few coins that you run around them. They cannot last. Nobody gives you wealth to destroy your land. God gives you wealth to repair. Thank you very much.